in regionals, Bob. Now they're just playing for seeding, and the seeding is important because there's 2 or 3 other very good Division I basketball teams in the girls' side of things. So Altavista does have to play hard. You want to get the highest seed as possible so you can host as many games as possible. And right now it looks like Altavista has definitely assured themselves of at least hosting that first-round game in regionals. After that, though, hard to say at this point.
Girls take place, I believe, next Wednesday.
Wednesday, Friday, Saturday is the girls' schedule? Okay.
If not,
sounds right.
It's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and the guys are vice versa.
Right.
So, you know, either way, hopefully the Altavista Colonels are going to have a game here Tuesday and Wednesday for the boys and the girls. But a lot of business to take care of. Then the neutral site, quote unquote, out of Amherst County High School. But you got to be a 1 or 2. Right. To get that fortune.
Yeah, and I think both the girls and the guys teams, are looking like they can get one of those 1 or 2 seeds. Maybe not the number 1 seed for the girls because East Rockingham is undefeated again this year, and the girls are. I want to say their overall record is 17-3. Does that sound right, Bob?
That sounds close.
Okay, so it's going to be a situation where if you can win your regular season and win your district tournament, then that's probably going to give you one of those 1 or 2 seeds, and that's what the Lady Colonels are looking to do.
And I know you've been studying that site that's on the Stroudsburg Athletics webpage with all the district standings. A lot of good D1 teams in the girls' ranks, not only with East Rock, but when you look at the Bull Run and the James River. So, yeah, 1 through 4 could be up for grabs, and I would say you definitely probably don't want to get that 4 seed because then you got to go play the number 1.
Exactly. You'd have to go play the number 1 seed
in their neck of the woods.
Exactly. On the road in that second round, assuming you can get by your first round opponent, which is not a given ever either. So it's definitely exciting stuff when you get into the tournament, Bob. Sometimes you got to be a math major to figure out who is going to play everybody else. But it's tournament basketball, and when you get into the regionals, it'll be that much more pressure because it's win or go home then, at least till you get to the regional final anyway.
We'll step aside and come back. It's Altavista, it's Gretna, it's girls basketball on the radio, 105.5 KD Country.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch & Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
It's cold out there. Who are you going to call when that old heater finally breaks down? Select Air, 841-1580. Another question. Who are you going to call this summer when that air conditioner finally kicks the bucket? Select Air, 841-1580. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Never an overtime charge with Select Air. Call Donnie at 841-1580 for a free estimate or online at selectair.webs.com.
A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Feller Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Feller Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
Hey, this is Coach Ward. You were listening to Altavista Basketball on 105.5 KD Country.
Chad Ward chiming in on Ladies Night as Altavista takes on Gretna. We're just about 8 minutes and some change away before the tip-off of this one, Kyle. And, when you look at Altavista's district record, it's unblemished. 12-0 in the regular season. They'll have their first postseason district game tonight. But I don't think you can just count your chickens before they hatch and say, we've beaten everybody twice, we can beat them one more time.
Yeah, you make a great point. I mean, Gretna's going to come into this game playing hard. They're in regionals as well, but they're still trying to improve their seeding too. And Gretna, of course, is Division I now, like we've mentioned, and we'll mention that again tomorrow night with the guys. And it's weird because they're Division II in football, Division I in everything else, so that can cause a little bit of confusion. That's a team that Altavista could potentially match up against in the regional tournament, both girls and guys. You could be seeing this matchup again sometime next week.
And we never have enough girls basketball on the radio, so if you've got a friend out there listening at home or either in another state that has some interest in Altavista girls basketball, let's be honest, who doesn't? Tell them to turn it on 105.5 or go to the internet at kdcountry.com. Altavista's got a lot of standouts. Two of them I see passing the ball back and forth to respective teammates in front of me. T.T. Dews, who got over 1,000 this year for her career. And then Sydney Morris, who is an outstanding player, is an underclassman and will be back. Great on the volleyball floor as well. But it's not just a two-man team.
No, it's not. They're a lot like the guys in that respect. They've got a lot of different weapons they can hurt you with, and they can go to that bench, which is very deep. They don't miss a beat when they do that. They've got the size inside with Kalia Donegan. Kayla Lee, in that first quarter last week, Bob, that game that Oscar and I did against Randolph Henry, Kayla Lee started things off with three three-pointers in that first quarter. Looked like she wasn't ever going to miss. So it's definitely a team where, you've got Morris and you've got Dews, quote unquote, your big guns, but there's a bunch of other people as well that can really score in bunches for the Altavista Lady Colonels. That's what makes them so tough to stop.
And you've got 5 seniors that were in Richmond last year when they fell to Covington in the state semifinals. But that team actually was on the floor before that in Richmond in the state quarter. So you've got postseason experience, and I don't think you can ever, discount that.
Yeah, you're right. They had to go on the road in that state quarterfinal game in Richmond and win a game. That's not always easy to do. And then they performed very well under the bright lights there at the Siegel Center in the semifinal game. Just came up a little short to Covington. But this is a team that is hungry, and a bunch of those players from last year are back this year, and they would love to get back there to Richmond and go a couple steps further and bring home a big trophy.
Let's look at the other side. Gretna went on the road on Friday night and got a win at Dan River. So while we were at Dan River at Gretna calling the guys game with Altavista and Dan River, the girls were taking action at Dan River with the Gretna Hawks and the Dan River Wildcats. Gretna scores the upset 44-39. If you're Herb Daniel, do you say, we're playing with house money or ride the momentum, keep the wave? What's your message?
Well, I think he knows that this is a big game as far as getting some momentum going into next week and going into regional play. I don't think, he feels like it's the season's on the line here tonight. I think his team's going to play loose, and they're going to play with some energy. And, maybe they do let it all hang out and play with nothing to lose. They have been beaten by the Colonels twice this year. And, we've always said it, Bob, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. So maybe that factors into this one as well.
If it's a case, though, where Altavista gets up early on Gretna, which is certainly possible, if you're Gretna, and we'll talk about this maybe if and when the time comes, but how do you kind of keep your girls focused on action and not look at the big board?
Yeah, that's the hardest part for a coach, is when things aren't going your way. I mean, you can go out there and draw up the X's and O's when your team's up by 20 or 30, but it's the hard part when things aren't going your way and the things you try don't work. The other team's just that much better than you sometimes, and that's where the good coaches separate themselves from just the other coaches, is they can keep their team focused and motivated. And sometimes it's what we always talk about. You got to play a game within a game where you say, hey, let's win the next 2 minutes, or let's go on a 5-0 run, that kind of thing. And again, that's where the really good coaches stand out, as they can get the most out of their team, win or lose.
You talk about Altavista, 3 losses in the regular season, 2 to JF, 1 to Brookville. So they've lost to some quality opposition, but they haven't lost in a while. If you're Altavista, how do you keep the foot to the pedal to the metal?
Yeah, again, it gets back to good coaching. I mean, I think Coach Spencer, she's been in this situation before. She's had really good teams before. Won state championship, to her credit, in basketball, won in volleyball as well. But they, it's a question of staying focused and making sure your team is still playing hard, regardless of score or record or what your opponent is like. And again, I don't want to overstate it, but that's where the good coaches come in. The good coaches can get the most out of their team, no matter the situation.
Should be an interesting one tonight. Altavista and Gretna will step aside for just a moment and come back with some lineups and more right here on 105.5 KD Country.
I'm hungry. What are we doing for lunch?
E&S Mart.
E&S? I knew they had
had the best gas prices in town, but lunch too?
You can get 2 hot dogs, chips, and a drink for just $2.99.
$2.99? Wow!
Yep, high-quality Nathan's and Jesse Jones hot dogs with over 30 items on the topping bar, so you can load it up any way you want it.
I'm Mike Maddox. I'd like to invite you down to try the best hot dog in Altavista. Come on down.
E&S Mart, Lynch Mill Road, across from the elementary school.
English Construction Company has been in the building business since 1932, so it's only natural that they appreciate the building process. They recognize the fact that organized sports programs build character as well as bodies and minds. They know that high school sports build our youth into more well-rounded and more productive adults. English Construction Company is proud to be a sponsor of high school sports and salute all athletes, coaches, and teachers. A word of praise and encouragement from English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg, Virginia.
Do you have extra furniture or home decor cluttering up your basement or garage? Turn it into cash. Bring it to the Shops of Altavista. The Shops of Altavista has doubled in size and has added used furniture and home decor to their fine selection of clothing, all at reasonable prices. The Shops of Altavista are open Tuesday through Friday from 9:30 till 6, and on Saturday 10 to 3, at the corner of Main and Charlotte, online at theshopsofaltavista.com.
Heard of Moose? The Altavista Moose Family Center proudly supports Altavista High School athletics. Moose International is a family-centered, community-based organization that has been serving the Altavista area since 1952. The Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road in Altavista wants to wish the Colonel basketball teams good luck in the playoffs. Give the Moose Family Center a call at 369-6945 today to see how they're bringing together the Altavista community. Moose, a family fraternity.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch and Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
National anthem concluding here at Altavista High School. Outstanding rendition of the national anthem tonight by Miss Johnson. And Kyle, we're almost ready for some basketball with the Hawks and the Lady Colonels. Gretna earlier this season had a 3-game losing streak kind of towards the tail end of the season with Dan River, Altavista, and William Campbell. And, you know, you want to get that out of the way early if you're Gretna in terms of you hate having it happen towards the end.
Yeah, it's definitely not what you want to have happen, and they got beaten one of those games pretty soundly by Altavista, 72-30. I think that was the game where T.T. Dews went off for like 30 points, 30-plus anyway. But you're right. I mean, you'd prefer to get your losses out early in the year, but you know how it is. You don't really get to pick and choose, and Coach Daniel is just going to play the hand he's dealt, as is Coach Deborah Spencer and her starting lineup here for the Lady Colonels.
And the lights go out at Altavista. Planned, though, not a failed power outage, or the bill has still been paid, as far as I know. You know, Oscar and I talked about it last night. It's kind of almost to a degree not the same effect because it's not pitch black behind us. Still some light outside.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about that. It is sun going down a little bit later, but I have a feeling the crowd down there in the court doesn't mind, and they've also got the lovely and talented Miss Donican to use her voice to get everybody pumped up. She didn't even need a light show to get people pumped up.
You want to talk about our good friends, the sponsors?
Absolutely, our great friends, the sponsors, helping us out for this basketball game, making it possible, bring it to you free on the radio. Keller Chevrolet, where a short drive will save you money. English Construction, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. The E&S Mart, 2 hot dogs, chips, and a drink for just $2.99. Select Air, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, never an overtime charge. Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Services, a family serving family since 1905. the shops of Altavista. Kids and ladies clothing, home decor too, all at a great price. And the Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road in Altavista. Herd of Moose, streaming online, of course, brought to you by Walmart on the Clarion Road. Save money, live better, Walmart. This has been the Subway pregame show, Bob. Don't forget, February is Febu-Any, $5 footlong specials all month. They've also got the footlong frenzy all month. Contest codes on large drink cups and Doritos bags. We got a couple of those tonight. You can win cash, cards, trips, vehicles. I don't know. I haven't been able to go online and put my code in, but you better believe after this game, I'm headed straight to the laptop to see if I won.
Starting lineup for the Gretna Hawks, they'll go with number 5, Andrea Sanchez, 5'10" guard. Number 10, Monique Miller, a 5'1" senior guard. Shaquita Chambers, a 5'4" senior guard. Katie Cox, 5'5" senior guard. And Ebony Cowens, 5'11" in the middle. Altavista counters with Takara T.T. Dews, 5'4" senior guard, wearing number 11. Sydney Morris, the 5'11" junior forward, wearing number 15. Ryan Hedgepath, 5'4" senior guard, wearing number 23. The senior forward, 5'6", Kayla Lee, wears number 24. And Kalia Donegan will wear number 30. She's in the middle, 5'9", junior center. Rick Evans will toss it up. Sydney Morris will jump against Miss Ebony Cowens. Colonels to our right, Gretna to our left. Gretna in their road blues. Gretna written on the front of the jersey, numeral in yellow, outlined in white on the back. Altavista gets it into Donegan. Colonels in their home whites, black and orange striping down the side, numeral in black, outlined in orange on the back. Altavista written on the front in black, outlined in orange. Morris over to Dews in the corner. TT puts it on the floor once, now back over to Lee. Kayla Lee to Kalia Donegan. Donegan goes down low to Morris with the pass. Morris bumps into Cowens. Gretna comes away with it. Sanchez with the rock in the left-hand dribble. Goes middle of the floor. Now back out to Miller. Miller between the circles. Goes left to Sanchez. Sanchez down low to Cox, and they're going to call a travel. Basketball going to go back over to the Lady Colonels. 7:23 to go in quarter one. No score.
Colonels win the tip early. Nice defensive stop by the Gretna Hawks, and then the Hawks come down and turn it over on their first possession.
Kayla Lee over to Ryan Hedgepath, middle of the floor. Hedgepath over to Lee, left side. Lee looking for somewhere to go. In a little trouble, puts it on the floor, and breaks out of the pressure with the dribble. You don't find a lot of people doing that as much.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little bit tougher to get out of that pressure using the dribble. A lot of times you have to pass your way out of it.
Lee fires from deep. Three-pointer's no good. Rebound is loose, picked up by Sanchez. Over a minute to go, or a minute has elapsed in quarter one, and no score. Basketball is going to belong to Gretna.
Full court pressure on the way here from the Lady Colonel. Sanchez to inbounds. She's going to go with the long baseball pass, Bob.
And she got it in.
Lefty, too.
The old southpaw.
Right.
Chambers can't hold on to it. Lee comes away with it. Lee on the right block, has it blocked, and I think they're going to call a foul against Sanchez. It'll be her first one of the game, and it will send Kayla Lee to the stripe.
First free throw of the game, Bob. It's time for me to tell you that Fellers Chevrolet sponsors not only the YouTube rebroadcast, but they sponsor this first quarter as well. Search all their new and used inventory online at fellersdirect.com. Fellers, where a short drive will save you money.
Lee can't hit the first, rattles in, rattles out.
And as I mentioned it, Lee had the hot hand in the first quarter against Randolph Henry. Let's see who has the hot hand tonight for the Lady Colonels in this one.
Lee sinks to second. 1-0, Altavista. Lee comes away, tries to get the steal, almost got it away from Chambers, and Chambers loses the basketball out of bounds. And it's going to go over to Altavista.
Coach Herb Daniel cannot believe it for the Gretna Hawks. He might have had a better view than the ref. Play happened right there, unfolding just a few feet in front of him near the Gretna bench.
Nice bounce pass into Donegan, wraps it around, and Morris sinks two from the blocks. 3-0 Colonels.
Lady Colonels have been very good with that two-man game between Donegan and Morris. We saw that a bunch last week, Bob. Usually it's one of them on the high post, the other on the low block.
T.T. Dews playing the role of DB, gets the interception. Dews gets poked in the eye. And the foul is going to go against Gretna's Katie Cox, her first.
Full court pressure making it very tough on Gretna right now. I think they've only broken the half-court line one time, Bob. 6:20 to go here in this Feller's first quarter.
2 team fouls against Gretna. Donegan takes it up inside, can't get the fall, gets their own rebound. Lee for 3. No good. Back iron, rebound by Morris. Kick out to Hedgepath. Now right side to Dews. Dews comes around. Dews puts up a soft shot, and TT gets it to go from the right side. 5-0 Altavista.
Good extra possession there for the Lady Colonels. Couple offensive rebounds. They kick it back out, then they use the dribble to get it back in.
Gretna almost travels. Hedgepath comes away with the steal. Ryan trying to get control of the dribble. Now looking for somewhere to go. Goes back to Morris. Sidney splits the defenders, but they're going to call a travel on Morris. You know, we talk about the Colonels guys team with the great defense a lot, but the Lady Colonels can play some D too.
Absolutely. They make it always tough on all their opponents to even get close to the basket.
Timeout by Gretna with it's a 30-second break. 5:45 to go. Colonels up 5-0 on KD Country.
It's cold out there. Who are you going to call when that old heater finally breaks down? Select Air, 841-1580. Another question. Who are you going to call this summer when that air conditioner finally kicks the bucket? Select Air, 841-1580. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Never an overtime charge with Select Air. Call Donnie at 841-1580 for a free estimate or online at selectair.webs.com.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Altavista will pick the full court pressure back up. Gretna able to break it as Sanchez lobs it over to Chambers. Chambers gets it inside, now back out to Sanchez. Sanchez goes down low to Callens. Back out to Sanchez. Sanchez from deep. Three-pointer off the front iron, no good. Rebounded by Altavista. Hedgepath off to TT. Hughes right side, thought about a 3, but Chambers gets back quickly with the defense. Now over to Lee. Sticks inside. Donegan lobs it over top. Morris sinks in 2 off the window. 7-0 Colonels.
Second time we've seen that Donegan to Morris connection. Great little lob pass there, and then Sidney does the rest with the easy bucket underneath. The bunny, as Bob Alvis would call it.
I didn't invent the term.
That might be your favorite basketball term.
Coined by others.
And of course, if you've heard Bob say the bunny, it's a short shot,
right,
you know, within 2 or 3 feet around the basket.
One that I can even make.
A chip shot, if you will.
Miller with the basketball. Colonels look to be maybe in a zone, but it gets out to a man again. Morris contests the 3, no good. Rebounded by Gretna. Gretna throws it away. Hedgepath comes away with the steal. Ryan from the right side. Hedgepath gets fouled going up. And the gritty gutty Ryan Hedgepath goes to the line for a pair.
Bob Alvis with the alliteration there. The gritty gutty Ryan Hedgepath is accurate, though. She'll head to the free throw line and shoot a pair. 4:55 remaining in this first quarter. 7-0 Colonels. And
first one down for Hedgepath.
Big one tomorrow night, Bob, between the Altavista guys team and the Gretna guys team. Couple members of both teams in attendance here tonight. We'll wait to the Subway halftime show to preview that one. I know you've got thoughts on that one, though.
Winner of this one will get the winner of Chatham and Nelson, which is going on down 29 South over there at Chatham. Hedgepath over to TT Dews. And, you know, I mean, if Altavista and Gretna are rivals, number 1 and 2, well, Dan River might be the boys' rival, but Chatham is definitely 1A on the girls' side for Altavista.
Yeah, they had to play a regular season tiebreaker last year. Both teams split during the regular season. This year, Altavista won both meetings, but you better believe the Cavaliers would like to get another crack at Altavista. Foul on Kayla Lee there as we were talking. Gretna broke the timeline.
And Mike Richardson's been around a time or two.
That's right.
Chatham has had deep playoff success in the past few years. Second foul on Kayla Lee, by the way. Only 2 on the Lady Colonels. Callens puts one up. It's off the window and off the rim and not going to fall down. Some new faces on the floor for Altavista include Erica Wilson and Chelsea Robinson. Shot up, no good by Kayla Lee. Off the front iron, rebounded by Sanchez. Lee will contest. Now over to Cox. Cox finds it to Miller in the corner. Now back up to Cox. She'll dribble it between the circles. Over to Callens. Callens can't catch. Hands it off to Sanchez. Sanchez in trouble. And they're going to say last touch off Altavista. Donegan and Lee were both in the neighborhood.
Again, it's that swarming defense that you talked about with the Lady Colonels. make it tough for Gretna to even get a shot up, let alone a good shot. And it looks like Altavista is in a zone, but they might be playing a little box and one on Sanchez. It looks like Kayla Lee's sort of following her around the court.
Gretna with the rock. Cox back over to Miller, now to Sanchez. Sanchez lobs it down low for Cowlins. Last touch off Altavista. It's going to stay to the Lady Hawks with 3:33 remaining in the Stellar's first quarter, and it's 8-0 Altavista. Sanchez lobs it back where it is caught by Monique Miller. Who hands it back to Sanchez, now over to Miller. Miller inside, the shot is up. Not going to fall down, but there is going to be a foul, and it might go against... It might go against Kayla Lee. I'm waiting for the board, and it is. It's Kayla Lee's third.
Yeah, 3 fouls already for Kayla Lee. She's, in fact, has the only 3 team fouls Altavista's committed. That's probably going to have to make Coach Spencer make a substitution here and have Kayla Lee exit the game for a little while anyway. She does. Hedgepath checks in for her.
Monique Miller hits the first free throw.
First points of the game for the Hawks, Bob.
Gretna 9-11 on the regular season. Got their full 20 in. Miller misses a second one, rebounded by Altavista. And Wilson tries to go up ahead too far, and it's going to go back to Gretna.
Yeah, Colonels get going a little too fast on the court right now for the Lady Colonels. T.T. Dews, Erica Wilson, Ryan Hedgepath, Chelsea Robinson, and Kalia Donegan.
And Gretna did play a couple Seminole teams as well this year, Rustburg and Liberty Bedford. Gretna with the rock. Cox puts it on the floor, gives it off. Miller in trouble, finds Cox out of the double team. Short jumpers off the iron, no good. Cox taps it out. Ball's going to bounce into the Altavista bench, and it's going the other way. You okay?
I'm great, enjoying this high school girls basketball action. 2:53, Altavista up 7, 8-1. Gretna throwing a little full court, 3/4 court pressure there at the Colonels, and they got a steal.
Robinson tried to keep it alive on the tap, but it went into the hands of Cox. Now over to Monique Miller. Miller has the ball, take a high bounce on her. Miller skies up for it to get it, gives it off to Cox. Now back to Monique Miller on the wing. Miller for 3 off the window, no good. Rebound is going to go up and in by Katie Cox, and it's 8-3 Altavista.
Offensive rebounding there for the Gretna Lady Hawks, very beneficial to their cause, and they've got another steal while we're talking, Bob.
Miller over to Cox. Cox is going to wait for the teammates to come back. Sanchez. Still, Gretna doesn't have numbers, and they're going to call a travel on Sanchez. Sydney Morris is going to check in for TT. Actually, she's going to check in for Donegan. TT is just going to inbound.
Right there in front of the Altavista bench. Here comes that full court pressure again from Gretna.
2:09 to go in quarter one. Colonels by 5. Hedgepath with the rock. And, you know, Altavista has the depth to go with that full court pressure for a long time. But Herb Daniel also has got some depth on his side as well as he throws out the full court.
That's right. He'll mix it up a little bit, try and get some pressure in the back court.
Morris to Hedgepath at the free throw line. The shot is up by Ryan. No good. Hedgepath gets her own rebound. Now over to TT. Dews hands it off to Hedgepath. Ryan, left-hand dribble. Goes vertical across that volleyball 10-foot line. Now over to Morris. Sydney down low to Chelsea Robinson. Robinson gets it to rim down. It's 10-3. Lady Colonels up by 7.
Great pass by Morris, and we talk about how she can score. She's one of the great passers on this Altavista team as well.
Katie Cox with it over to Sanchez. Sanchez crossover. Sanchez hit in the air as she got rid of it. The officials had wanted to be liberal and call a foul on that. They could have maybe said Sanchez was in the act.
They could have,
but they didn't. I'm just, just discussion points, Kyle.
I love these discussion points. We need talking points. And, yeah, you're right. Sanchez got up in the air, got bumped. No whistle either way, so it didn't matter whether she was in the act or wasn't in the act.
Morris with the versatility guarding Sanchez up top. And Gretna steps on the end line, and you can't do that and keep possession of the basketball. It's going back to the Lady Colonels. Yeah, 60 seconds even.
Colonels take over here. Here's that full court pressure again. They've struggled with it a few times. Looks like they broke it this time, though.
Dews zigzags all the way down. Bounce pass to Chelsea Robinson. And Robinson again gets it to roll home 12-3.
Yeah, Chelsea Robinson on that low block, back-to-back possessions for the Lady Colonels. She scores 2.
Gretna with the rock. Miller, who's definitely giving up a little size right now, to Morris. Monique Miller listed at 5'1". Sydney Morris listed at 5'11". 10 inches.
That's good math there. I flunked Math 101 a couple times. Altavista taking advantage of these long Gretna passes. Gretna trying to throw these cross-court passes, Bob, high lob-type passes, and Altavista just running under them, intercepting.
Inside to Morris on the low block. Morris takes it up. Can't get it to fall. Sydney will try to get a second chance at it, but Gretna corrals the rebound, and Wilson reaching in the backcourt. You know what I like to say about those passing lanes?
Keep them as small as possible.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet. That's right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the long pass as long as you know you can complete it. And, longer that ball is in the air, the more time the other team has a chance to react to it.
Less than 10 seconds to go. Gretna underneath. Callens catches, kicks it out. Cox for 3 from the corner. That's going to roll down. 12-6 is going to be our score as we will head to quarter 2 with that margin. So Gretna gets some life into them late. They trail Altavista 12-6 here on your home for Colonels basketball, 105.5 KD Country.
A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Feller Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Feller Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Bob Alvis, Kyle Hoehne. Eleanor Hoehne back at home base tonight right there on Fraser Road. And I'll tell you, Altavista started off like a lion, but Gretna roared too.
Gretna did a nice job responding to the pressure. They added a little full-court press of their own and got some steals off of that. And then the late 3 there to end the first quarter was big. That cut the lead in half, or got it to where it was 6-12, doubling
That's
up.
half.
Yeah, exactly. Altavista still doubling them up, but hey, they cut it in the lead some, right?
Hedgepath guarding Miller. Miller in trouble, and a 5-second call. I love it when you try to do math on the radio. It's the most amusing thing to me that can happen.
Second or third time tonight I've made that mistake. 10 seconds gone there in that possession. Great defense from Hedgepath.
Maybe you can try the angles of like geometry or something. You can
You should
work
just go
that
back
out.
and take a remediation class.
Deuce to Donegan. Donegan underneath. Took some contact right there. No good. Morris gets the rebound and hits it off the square, and it falls down for 2. 14-6 Altavista.
Nice perseverance there by Morris. Donegan thought she was going to get the points. Took a little contact. Morris came in, got the offensive rebound. He's got a steal now.
Sydney will go down uncontested. Right side, lays it up and in. And Herb Daniel does not like the way things are headed here in the first 42 seconds. He'll call a timeout. 30-second break. Altavista 16, Gretna 6 on 105.5 KD Country.
I'm hungry. What are we doing for lunch?
E&S Mart.
E&S? I knew they had the best gas prices in town, but lunch too?
You can get 2 hot dogs, chips, and a drink for just $2.99.
$2.99? Wow!
Yep, high-quality Nathan's and Jesse Jones hot dogs with over 30 items on the topping bar, so you can load it up any way you want it.
I'm Mike Maddox. I'd like to invite you down to try the best hot dog in Altavista. Come on down.
E&S Mart, Lynch Mill Road, across from the elementary school.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Bob Alvis and Kyle Hoehne with you, and Altavista, Kyle, stormed out of the gates in those first 42 seconds.
Great way to start the second quarter for the Lady Colonels. It's a lot like how they started the first quarter. See what Gretna can do to respond.
Underneath the Cox and Sydney Morris saying, not in my house. They're going to say Morris was on the line.
That looked like one of those blocks that she had last week. It looked like a volleyball spike that she might use in the fall season.
Hedgepath tries to dive on the floor. Almost grabbed the shoe of Dean Hubbard, and I totally recommend taking his footwear off if you can get a chance.
Dean Hubbard hanging around by that baseline down there, and he is he's too close to that action. He needs to be aware.
That's splash zone right there down there. Monique Miller with it. Casey Cox now in the game for Altavista. Three-pointer hoisted by the Hawks. No good. Dews does a good job of getting herself wedged between the basket and the Gretna Hawks player to secure the rebound.
Yeah, it's a good box out by Dews.
Casey Cox double team. Cox lost it. Cox goes on the floor for it. And they're going to say last touch. I think off Gretna. But now there's going to be a discussion.
Gotta love it when the officials come in and discuss and say, hey, what'd you see? I saw this. You saw that. Who had the better angle? They get it straight, and they say it did go off the Lady Colonel. So it'll go back to Gretna. 6:40 to play here in the Fellers second quarter. Lady Colonel's up 10.
Double dribble is the call. Monique Miller threw that ball back with some authority, and Miller will get a technical for her troubles.
Yeah, I think she was disappointed with the call, and she did sort of fire the basketball over into the sideline bench area.
That'll be the 5th team foul against the Hawks. Second personal issued to Miller, and Dews will shoot 2.
Good person to have on the free throw line if you're the Lady Colonels. Miss T.T. Dews. We know what a outstanding shooter she is, and Bob, you and I got to witness her score her 1,000th point.
Not in one game. That'd be a record.
I would imagine.
She sinks 2 right here, 18-6. At Rustburg earlier in the year.
Yep, that was a fun game out there at Rustburg. Dews got things started early with a three-pointer, and she came into the game with 999, correct?
Right.
So that was points 1,000, and then up to 1,002.
Glad you did that math correctly.
I know. You could see how frustrated I was getting just thinking about it.
Sydney Morris drives baseline and gets in 2 more, 20-6. And Altavista now with the steal. Morris the other way. Bounce pass over to Hedgepath. Hedgepath had it blocked. Sanchez knocks it out of there, and it's picked up by Gretna.
Good recovery by Sanchez there on the block.
Colonel's on an 8-0 run right now. Hawks looking to score, intended for Sanchez. And Sanchez will pick it up, but she'll be called for over and back. And Sanchez expressing her frustration, just dropping the ball down.
Probably better than throwing it.
I've said so in a time or two in my time.
6:04 remaining here in the second quarter. Lady Colonel's up 20-6.
Morris down low to Kalia Donegan, and it's going to be an offensive foul. And they're going to call it against Donegan.
Donegan used the elbow and the shoulder a little bit more than the official liked, so they whistle her with the foul. Under 6 minutes to go. Lady Colonels look like they're in a man-to-man, Bob.
5:50 to go.
No, I think they're in the zone. Shouldn't have said anything.
You're the analyst here. I mean, that's your job. One job.
Use that term loosely.
Hedgepath knocks it out of bounds. It's going to stay to Gretna. Bob Alvis, Kyle Hoehne. 5:43 remains in the Fellers second quarter. A lot of great deals at Fellers, Kyle.
Absolutely, Bob. It's Chevy Truck Month. Brand new 2013 Chevy Silverados available now. Longest lasting, full size, most dependable pickup on the road.
Cox with the basketball. Goes inside. Shot is up. It's not going to fall down for the Lady Hawks, but the rebound is secured. And Cox for 3 from the wing gets Gretna's first points of the quarter on a trifecta. It's 20-9 with 5:20 to go.
The senior, Katie Cox, knocking down the long 3 ball.
Dews over to Hedgepath. It's Dews, Hedgepath, Wilson, Robinson, and Donegan on the floor. Chelsea Robinson secures that rebound. Robinson gets it to rim down, too.
Great touch there from Robinson.
Tell you what, Chelsea Robinson's been using a lot of real estate tonight on the rims on 3 of her field goals. 22-9, Altavista comes away with the steal. It's led up for Hedgepath. Hedgepath has 2 people on her. Cox got a piece of that basketball, I think, to mess up the shot. And they're going to say the last touch is off of... Well, earlier it looked like they said it was off Gretna, but now switched over to off Altavista, and it's going to be Gretna basketball as Sydney Morris will check in for Donegan. Kayla Lee has spent the first 3 minutes and 14 seconds of this quarter on the bench with 3 fouls that she picked up quite quickly.
Yeah, it was the first 3 fouls Altavista had as a team. Lee had them all herself. Unfortunate situation there for her. But again, we talked about this bench for Altavista. Very strong.
Foul is going to go against the Hawks. It's a 6-team foul, so the next one, Altavista will go to the stripe. I believe that's number 6.
I think you're right.
And the foul's on Courtney Witcher, her second. Witcher, a junior for the Hawks. Gretna only with 3 seniors, Kyle.
Yeah, it's a young ball club. They've got some talent. They've got some size, 6-footer, 5'10", 5'11".
3 of those seniors on the floor, though, with Miller, Chambers, and Cox. Sanchez with the basketball. She'll fire from deep, 3-pointer off the front iron, hits the glass, and hits the hands of Erica Wilson. Wilson gets it over to Taylor Kraft. Now back to Wilson. Left side to T.T. Dews. Dews into Morris. Morris spins, fires into Robinson. Robinson takes it up, and she's going to be fouled. And depending on where that foul comes will depend on how many shots. And it will be 2.
Third one on Courtney Witcher. 7th one on the team. She was in the act of shooting, and there was a couple of Lady Hawks draped on her arms there, so kind of bad luck for Witcher. I mean, you really could have given that foul to 3 people on that one.
Robinson not fortunate with the real estate bounces this time. Bounced off the rim 3 times. When you and Oscar did the Randolph-Henry game last week, did you call them the Lady Statesmen?
I did.
Or were they the state ladies?
Well, I mentioned that. I said, you know, we were calling them the Lady Statesmen, and that's what it said on their jersey too, Bob, but you really could call them the Stateswomen. You know?
Right. 23-9, Gretna. Long outside 3 from Miller, not going to go down. Kraft with the board, gets it over to Morris. Sidney finds TT in the corner. Dews fakes the pass, now gets it over to Wilson. Now Kraft surveys the scene. Bounce pass over to Dews. Now to Wilson. Wilson will bring it back up top. Wilson gets it over to Morris at the free throw line extended. Now to Kraft, right wing in the corner to Robinson. To Robinson. Now over to Dews. Now Wilson. 3:38 to go here in the second quarter of play. Altavista 23, Gretna 9. Dews inside the arc by about 5 steps and gets the 2 to go down. It's 25-9 Altavista.
Looked like the motion offense there from Altavista, and it really wore Gretna down. Nice long possession. Finally some seams in that defense, and Dews used the dribble to get in between them.
Cox goes underneath. Now Witcher with it. Kick out. 3. Going to go off the top. No good. Rebounded by the Hawks. Miller can't get it to go. Still short. Now Robinson gets the rebound. Now over to Dews. Dews fires long up ahead to Morris. Nice pass by Dews to Morris. And 2 more go down, 27-9.
Sydney Morris looked like a tall tight end streaking down the field, and Dews hit her in stride with a nice pass.
And the tight end turns into a DB this time as Morris comes away with the steal. Now over to Robinson, now to Wilson. Now Dews. Dews sets, fires from deep. No good on the 3. Rebounded by Katie Cox, but now it's on the floor and picked up by Sanchez. Talk about the advantages of Altavista not playing Friday, because I don't see where they look rusty.
No, they don't look rusty one bit. I think you're rested up and you get some good practice time in there, and you can imagine Coach Spencer still worked them pretty hard in practice.
Sanchez from deep, and the 3 goes down for Andrea Sanchez, 27-12.
Yes, Sanchez, the lefty, great ball handling skills. We've already seen her make some slick passes. Now she bombs one in from 3-point land.
Wilson will set up shot between the circles. Now over to TT right side. Dews drives all the way, puts it up and in off the window.
Bank open late on that one for TT Dews. Sharp angle there to use the glass. But if anybody can do it, Dews can. Great shot.
29-12. Altavista as time ticks down, under 2 minutes to go. 3 by Cox from the corner, overshoots it, rebounded by Dews. Dews will again fire from deep. 3-pointers up, front iron, no good. Rebound, still loose, picked up by Chelsea Robinson. Robinson throws it up and gets fouled, and there will be 2 shots for Chelsea Robinson, the junior 5'6" forward.
Yeah, good, outstanding player on Deborah Spencer's volleyball team, and Robinson was in a crowd there, just had to throw it up towards the rim and was fouled in the act. 1:18 to play here in the Fellers second quarter. First free throw, no good. Lady Colonels leading this one, 29-12, Bob Alvis.
Robinson misses the first. She'll have one more. You talk about some of the guys checking it out, getting some postseason watching experience.
That's right. Well, and you know, that's the thing. When when the guys are playing in the regular season, more often than not, especially in the district, the girls are playing at the opposite location. So the guys don't get a chance to take in very many girls' games and vice versa as well. So that's one good thing about the tournament. Both teams get to watch each other a little bit more, root each other on.
30-12, steal by Dews. TT coming down. TT had it poked away, and it's going to stay to Altavista. And I'm not going to call out anybody, but you see some of the guys up in the crowd talking. But I see one guy over there intently watching this one. It's my man, Juan Thornhill.
Absolutely. And
student of the game.
That's exactly what I was going to say. He's studying the game. He's watching things. And, you know, it's also one of those things where in the hallways, you know, TT Dews or Sidney Morris is going to say, hey, Juan, you know, I had 16 points and 4 assists and 5 rebounds last night. I'm better than you. So Juan had to come find out on his own if those rumors were really true or not. That kind of thing. It's like the old Reggie and Cheryl Miller type thing.
Gretna comes away with the steal but knocked it out of bounds. And you got to wonder, is Juan, you know, and I'm not stepping on any toes here for the coaching staff because I think Deborah Spencer and staff best around, but does Juan pick up a subtle nuance where he says, you know, hey, you need to hold that pivot foot just 1 second longer? Donegan misses and she'll go to the stripe.
Donegan going to go to the free throw stripe. I'm sure he would have loved to see Kalia get the three-point play, but the foul just hampered her so much, and the foul was on Ebony Callens. But, yeah, you can definitely always learn something from watching basketball, no matter the level. I mean,
or gender.
That's exactly right.
31-12. Now, I wonder if Juan has taught anybody the second shot art of rebounding a missed free throw.
Maybe he's keeping that one to himself. He'll reveal that in his autobiography somewhere down the road.
32-12. Donegan sinks them both. I'm trying to think of the title of that autobiography right now, just on the fly.
The deuce is loose.
I'm slowing down in my older age. 25 seconds to go. Altavista knocks it out.
Well, I think Juan is such a field player. When he shoots the free throw, he can tell off his hand whether it's got a chance to go in or not, and that's why he can anticipate the miss sometimes.
Sanchez with the long pass. I thought that was almost going to strike the bottom of the iron. He now gets over to Cox, but it went underneath Katie's arm. And Altavista is going to get it back with 13.1 seconds to go.
Yeah, Sanchez, very good passer. Sometimes she throws the passes that are too good. The Hawks can't handle them.
Hedgepath with it. Hedgepath across the timeline looking for some help. Gretna's defense was all over, and they're going to say that they fouled Hedgepath, and this is going to send Ryan to the stripe for 2.
Yeah, and Ryan Hedgepath was in trouble there, very close to getting a 5-second count or a turnover. So I think we could put that in the bailout category there as Hedgepath will go to the free throw line.
It's a third foul on Monique Miller.
Yep. Yeah, Gretna's got some foul issues here, too. Altavista obviously has Kayla Lee on the bench with 3 fouls, but I think Gretna's got a couple people with 3 now, don't they, Bob?
Witcher and Miller.
Okay. I was afraid I got you on the spot there. First free throw in for Hedgepath. 4.9 seconds left. Got to be careful on a miss here.
I relish the pressure, Hoehne. 34-12 as Hedgepath sinks 2. Less than 5 seconds to go. If you're Gretna, you got to be careful that you don't give it away. Hawks won't. Miller will fire from 3. It's going to be short, and that's going to do it for the first 16 minutes. Intermission at Altavista High School. Colonels 34, Gretna 12. Back with the Subway halftime show after this timeout on 105.5 KD Country.
The following is brought to you by English Construction Company.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Virginia high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the Virginia High School League and the Virginia Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Heard of Moose? The Altavista Moose Family Center proudly supports Altavista High School athletics. Moose International is a family-centered, community-based organization that has been serving the Altavista area since 1952. The Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road in Altavista wants to wish the Colonel basketball teams good luck in the playoffs. Give the Moose Family Center a call at 369-6945 today to see how they're bringing together the Altavista community. Moose, a family fraternity.
Do you have extra furniture or home decor cluttering up your basement or garage? turn it into cash. Bring it to the shops of Altavista. The shops of Altavista has doubled in size and has added used furniture and home decor to their fine selection of clothing, all at reasonable prices. The shops of Altavista are open Tuesday through Friday from 9:30 till 6, and on Saturday 10 to 3, at the corner of Main and Charlotte, online at theshopsofaltavista.com.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Subway halftime show back here from Altavista High School. Lady Colonel's on top in this one. 34-12. You're always on top when you go to Subway. $3 breakfast combos. Bob, you can get a 6-inch breakfast sub with a 16-ounce coffee or a 21-ounce drink. I know it's enough to get a man like you choked up just thinking about it.
Emotional.
Exactly.
And, you know, we talked about this last night, and I think you'll like this. Big game here tomorrow night with Gretna and Altavista. Big game in the College Realm tomorrow night. Now, a lot of ACC fans in this area. Duke and North Carolina and the ACC showdown. Come to the Altavista Gretna game first. ACC game doesn't start till 9. But earlier, have Robert cater for you. Get you a big party sub.
Get your sub.
Invite
ready.
all the friends over for the, if you want to listen to us or to you and Oscar. Get the crowd over. Listen. Then you got the Duke UNC game. Then you got your Subway party platter right there to go.
Yeah, you're right. That's a powerful combination. And you could even call it in. If you're going to come to the Altavista Gretna game, you can still call it in, then pick it up, and then go home and watch that big UVA Virginia Tech game. Or is that one tonight?
That one's tonight.
That one's tonight? Oh, I thought that was the big game you were talking about. You're talking about Duke, North Carolina. Nobody cares about that around here.
There's one side or the other in those battles, like Virginia and Virginia Tech. But, I mean, you know, Friday night, if for some reason, you know, you don't want to make a trip out to support, hopefully, both teams, and they're going to probably be at separate sites, hey, get you a Subway party platter and enjoy the games on the radio.
Yeah, we're cooking up something special for Friday night. We're going to wait and see what happens in our ball games first, of course. But
I wasn't trying to lead you into that or anything. I was just stating, you know,
Absolutely.
It's always a good time for the Subway party platter. And, hey, on Thursday, you know what Thursday is? You better.
The day after Wednesday.
The Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's right. What sweetheart wouldn't love a Subway gift card?
I'd love one.
I know you would.
I'm looking at you for this, too.
That's what's scaring me. That's why I'm looking away, because the term sweetheart was used, and you looked at me. Subway halftime
I just
show,
showed the gift card part.
Yeah, the gift card would be nice. Subway, eat fresh, and definitely tune in to 105.5 or check out kdcountry.com. Yeah, to find out what the schedule is going to be for the rest of the week. If the girls win this one tonight, they'll be at home Friday night for the district tournament final. Guys got to play Gretna tomorrow here at home, and then after that we'll have to see. They may have to go back down to Ringgold if there's an upset. Game could be here Friday night. You never know.
William Campbell has got Dan River tomorrow night at the Wildcats Den down there in Ringgold, and that should be an interesting one. Interesting one here, Altavista, all over Gretna so far, 34-12. They have held the Hawks to 6 points in each of the first two quarters and really exploded in that second quarter with 22 big ones.
Yeah, Altavista started out. It was an 8-0 lead to start this ball game. 12-6 at the end of that first quarter, thanks to a buzzer beater from the Gretna Lady Hawks. And it's really been, like you said, Bob, all Lady Colonels after that. Second quarter, very dominating performance by Altavista. They lead 34-12. We'll see what the second half has in store, though, and I'm sure Coach Herb Daniel for the Lady Hawks is going to have some sort of adjustment to bring out of that locker room.
We'll step aside and come back and talk about some adjustments on our end here on the Subway halftime show. Altavista 34, Gretna 12 on KD Country.
A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Feller Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Feller Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
It's cold out there. Who are you going to call when that old heater finally breaks down? Select Air, 841-1580. Another question. Who are you going to call this summer when that air conditioner finally kicks the bucket? Select Air, 841-1580. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Never an overtime charge with Select Air. Call Donnie at 841-1580 for a free estimate or online at selectair.webs.com.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch & Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Back here on the Subway halftime show, Bob Alvis, Kyle Hoehne, 34-12, Altavista all over the Lady Hawks from Gretna so far in this one. And one thing that pops out to me as interesting, Kyle, is Gretna has 4 field goals. They've all been from 3. That's all you can give is a
Well, that's all I'm going to give is a because I'm going to have to check your math on that one. I know they made a free throw, so if they've got 4 3-pointers, stands to reason 4 times 3 is 12. They have 12 points, but I know they've made some free throws, so I think your math could be a little bit off. Who flunked Math 101 now?
Well, Katie Cox has, and that leads us into stats. Katie Cox has 9, and Andrea Sanchez has 3.
You missed the free throw in there because it was 8-1 at one point. That's how Gretna got their first points of the ball game, was from the free throw line.
Man, I hate it when that. Dang,
you hate it when I'm right?
I was so close there. Cox has 5. Miller has 1.
I started thinking about it, and maybe the scoreboard was wrong.
You're like fact check.
I know.
Non-partisan Kyle Hoehne with his fact check here tonight. Dang, I thought I'd pull one on you. 34 points for Altavista. I think I have those pretty set. Kayla Lee with 1 free throw has 1. Kalia Donegan, 2 free throws, has 2. Ryan Hedgepath has 3 free throws. She has 3. Chelsea Robinson has 8, along with T.T. Hughes, and Sydney Morris with 12. Man, I'm so mad right now.
It's all right. While you're getting mad about that, I can tell you that the scoring for the Lady Colonels balanced again. They always find a way to share the basketball. A bunch of different people scoring. It's like we talked about in the Subway pregame show. You never know on a given night who is really going to be the hot hand and do the most damage. The pep band always has the hot hand, Bob. They're here with us tonight in this one, and they always make it fun and lively. I would assume they're going to be here tomorrow night when this matchup is repeated on the guys' side of things. But I'm telling you, I think most of the people that listen to us have been to an Altavista game. But if you haven't, you got to come check it out. It's a great atmosphere. The pep band, the light show. You get a great product on the court.
You don't have many more chances for the light show.
Very true.
I'm thinking, if there's a game here tomorrow and a game here Friday, and then if you're fortunate enough to get 2 first-round regional games, that's 4 opportunities for a light show with guys and girls.
At the most.
Yep, at the most. And, one thing that I think is a bright point, too, is not that I don't love Kenny Hunt. I don't want rumors to get started again. He's a great public address announcer, but, and whenever we get the ladies up here and we get to sit next to Miss Donegan, I feel like it's Christmas.
Absolutely.
It's my gift. I don't know who gave it to me, but it's my gift.
Maybe Dean Hubbard gave it to you. Who knows? But you're right. Miss Donegan gets everybody in the house pumped up. Like I said, even without the light show, she's going to get you fired up. And Kenny Hunt's the same way on the guy's side. You got to love the smooth tones of Mr. Kenny Hunt. I saw him down here earlier. I don't know if maybe he probably went to go.
He probably
play
went
some
to
basketball. No, there he is. He's still here.
I figured he'd
be
checking up with me and make sure I was not talking.
He's got an earpiece.
Still talking good about him.
He's listening to the broadcast.
Altavista's second half, Kyle. When you're up 22, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's hard to make adjustments, but it's hard to, I think, keep the pedal to the metal.
We've talked about that, and we talked about it, in the pregame. That's why the good coaches are the good coaches, because they can still get their team to play hard, even though they're up 34-12. And I got to believe Coach Spencer's going to do just that in this one. She knows this is a tune-up match, and they're getting ready for regionals, so she wants to see certain things out of her team. She wants to see them play sharp, no matter what the score. And it's easy to say, it's easy to tell your team, hey, let's play like it's 0-0. Some coaches can actually get their team to do it, and I think Coach Spencer is one of those.
Altavista will go to our left, Gretna to our right here in the third. The other Dogwood game tonight is Chatham at Nelson down there in Chatham. Kalia Donegan, no update received as of yet. Donegan has it knocked out of bounds. Gretna will take it.
Yeah, Chatham, very good ball club. Just the 2 losses in the district to Altavista, but don't sleep on Nelson, as I know you never do, Bob, but Nelson's got some talent, and they're capable of winning that game.
Saw the Governors down here last night on the guys' side. And always good to see Brandon Garrett and my friends from Livingston.
Yes.
The Billy Lake down here, too, last night.
The Buena Vista Bowl, Part 3.
Well, Part 3 this year. And I meant to look up to see how many Buena Vista Bowls there have been. I didn't. Donegan, free throw line, spins, tries to go over top. Gretna, maybe that's a halftime adjustment. Altavista did get a lot of, I don't know if pick and roll is the proper terminology, but a lot of lobs down into the post. And right there, Gretna defends one.
Yeah, they exploited that low post in the first quarter. Sydney Morris with the big block. Second monster bomb she's had like that tonight, Bob.
I don't want to take it inside against Sydney Morris. I might have my feelings devastated.
You'll stay on the perimeter.
I don't even know if the Subway gift card could make up for that. It probably could. Gretna gets it back, though. Hawks will fire a 3. Too strong by Sanchez. Rebounded from Lee, even though Gretna did have that free throw. So 11 of 12 have come from Gretna. They've really been living by that sword.
Absolutely. Whether your stat was on point or not, they've made most of their field goals from behind the arc. And it's hard to win basketball games that way unless you're just absolutely having a career night.
Well, not only made most of them, but I think just attempted most of them. TT for 3, no good. I mean, rarely has Gretna taken it inside the perimeter.
You're right. And part of that's because of people like Donegan and Morris swatting those shots away.
Miller gets all the way down, no good. Hedgepath with the rebound, and it's knocked out of bounds, and it's going to stay with the Lady Colonels. And, I mean, give Altavista's defense credit for not letting Gretna get inside for these 2s.
Yeah, that was my point. I think when they do go in there, you run the risk of getting the shot swatted away by Sydney Morris or Kalia Donegan. Kayla Lee's got some size to reject some shots as well.
Or you can't even get it in there.
Right. You end up resorting. You just have to shoot the 3.
Morris catches in the post. No good for Sydney on the first try. She'll have a second opportunity with the rebound. Now bounce pass out to Donegan, back over to Morris. Morris jumper just to the right of the free throw line. No good. Sydney again with the board. And Morris takes that one up, and she's going to be fouled. I think Cox is going to be the recipient of the foul that will be posted to the board.
You are correct, Mr. Alvis. First team foul of the half for Gretna. Cox is third, though. So she's another starter with 3 fouls for Coach Daniel's squad. First free throw up and in by Sydney Morris. 35-12 Altavista leads with 6:04 to play here in the Feller's third quarter.
Sydney sinks the second one as well.
I'm sorry your stats got messed up.
36-12. I'm not mad about it. I've got over it now. Cox with the basketball. You know, something a lot of teams don't do, and we even don't talk about this enough, as Gretna breaks the pressure on that one, and they'll take it down. And nice passing by the Hawks. And it's going to be Chambers for 2.
And there's a field goal that's not a 3.
But, you know, sometimes when you pressure a little bit and, you know, you just don't have the luxury of picking up the ball and just harmlessly throwing it in, a lot of teams don't run that baseline. Lee misses a jumper, rebounded by Cox.
Yeah, you're right. After a made basket, you can move around behind the baseline.
Whoa, my gosh. Sydney Morris came with that one, and I'll tell you, that one might be bouncing down the road across the bridge. And back down 29.
It's like somebody set her up for a spike in volleyball, and she just bombs it. Third one like that we've seen tonight, Bob.
Foul is going to go against Altavista, and it's going to send Miller to the stripe for 2.
Scary. I'm glad it's not Halloween.
You can have scary stuff without the 31st of October.
Apparently, with Sydney Morris down there swatting shots away.
36-14. Foul goes against Hedgepath. First foul. Whoa, Miller. Little nerves, I think, on that one. A little short on the free throw.
Short on the free throw. Sort of line drived it up there. Not much arc under it.
Now, you know, I told Oscar this last night. This is a historic game. The last girls Dogwood District Tournament semifinal that will be held at Altavista.
Yeah, that's a good point. Going to the conferences next year, got a steal. Gretna didn't have a steal, but they double dribbled it, like you said. And, yeah, going to the conference play next year, that'll change some things.
So keep your program is what I'm saying tonight. 36-15.
I'm going to do that.
Morris goes to Hedgepath. Hedgepath streaking across the other side, gets the 2.
I might get Sydney Morris. Great pass by Morris, by the way. I might get Sydney Morris to sign that program, but she might just swat it away when I hold it out there.
38-15. I think Sydney's probably gentle enough to where, as long as you're not taking a shot at the basket.
Yeah, if I had a basketball in my hands, she might.
Over to Dews. 4:50 to go here in the quarter. Donegan underneath.
Great feed. Extra look by Sydney Morris on the bounce pass. Yeah, just got to make sure I don't try and get her to sign a basketball.
40-15. Steal by Sydney Morris. Lays it up. And Herb Daniel would like a timeout. He will use a full. 42-15 Altavista. 4:36 to go in quarter 3. Back in 1 minute. When you're home for Colonel's Hoops. 105.5 KD Country.
The following is brought to you by English Construction Company.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Virginia are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Virginia High School League and the Virginia Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
I'm hungry. What are we doing for lunch?
E&S Mart.
E&S? I knew they had the best gas prices in town, but lunch too?
You can get 2 hot dogs, chips, and a drink for just $2.99.
$2.99? Wow!
Yep, high-quality Nathan's and Jesse Jones hot dogs with over 30 items on the topping bar, so you can load it up any way you want it.
I'm Mike Maddox. I'd like to invite you down to try the best hot dog in Altavista. Come on down.
E&S Mart, Lynch Mill Road, across from the elementary school.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Bob Alvis, Kyle Hoehne, and my favorite person in the booth tonight, Mrs. Donegan, up here with us. I even like her better than myself, I think. Gretna with the basketball. Miller trying to dribble it around. Good job by Miller to keep the dribble because a lot of trees from Altavista were in the way.
Yeah, using the dribble, keeping it low to the floor, hard to take away, a lot of control. Now she's got it back.
Miller over to Cox. Cox right side, and it's going to go out of bounds. Little mini ADs meeting down there at the door with Dean Hubbard and Mr. Chad Scruggs from Gretna.
Yes, and we
great hospitality.
That's what I was just going to say. We got to thank Mr. Scruggs again for all his hospitality down there at Gretna Friday night for that Dan River Altavista extra game. They treat us great. And, of course, big props to Mr. Darrell Wilkerson again with Pittsylvania County Technology Department for making it happen.
Might be helping us one more time. Kayla Lee with the basketball. Lee drives down, can't get it to go. Second try by Lee. Very high, off the wire high. And that will be an out-of-bounds play off Altavista. 3:54 to go here in quarter 3. Colonel's well in front, 42-15. Gretna breaks the pressure. They'll get it over to Miller. Now cross court. Now back to Cox. Cox will fire from deep. Three-pointer's no good. Rebound. Tried to, it was Callens trying to secure it. Could not. Shot is missed and rebounded by Kayla Lee. Lee looks possessed. One man down all the way and not going to get to go, but Morris is going to be fouled. And Sid the Kid at the stripe for 2.
Lee took it coast to coast with the dribble. Her shot wouldn't go in. Morris was there for the rebound. Foul is going to be on Sanchez. Her second. Team's second. 3:31 to play here in the Fellers third quarter. And, of course, Bob, Fellers Chevrolet is your one-stop shop for maintenance and service. Their certified technicians always perform under pressure, and find out why customers from Roanoke, Danville, and Lynchburg keep coming back to Fellers.
Morris sinks the second, 43-15. You know, I thought about something there as I called Sydney Sid the Kid when she went to the free throw line. How long have we been doing this together?
Too long.
True. Agree wholeheartedly. And I'll get back to my question in a moment as Gretna breaks the pressure. Erica Wilson, or Chelsea Robinson, pardon me, trying to tie it up. And the ball will stay to Gretna. We've given many nicknames over our years. I wonder which person hates their nickname the most that we've given them.
Well, and I've always thought about that. I lay up at night losing sleep, over the fact of, should we approve the nickname with the person, and I don't know how that works, with celebrities and famous athletes. I mean, do they...
Chambers gets a 2 from the right side.
I know Bruce Springsteen didn't like the nickname The Boss, but he said, now, hey, I've just got to deal with it. I've had it for so long.
Kalia Donegan goes underneath to Chelsea Robinson to pass, and Robinson gets it to spin down 45-17.
What a look inside by Donegan. Nice finish by Robinson. Boy, Robinson has finished a lot of those short ones inside. She's getting some great feeds from her teammates.
Chambers over to Sanchez. Sanchez, southpaw across the court to Miller. Miller's 3 is short. Sanchez with the rebound, overshoots it. And the try is up and in for Courtney Witcher. And Witcher will try the old-fashioned three-point play.
Good job by Witcher getting it in there. Another short field goal for the Lady Hawks. And she'll go to the free throw line. 2:41 remaining here in this Feller Chevrolet third quarter. Free throw up and good.
Foul went against Robinson. Her first, second on the Colonels. 45-20.
I think, like boxers and mixed martial artists guys, they kind of choose those nicknames. Nobody's picking those for them, but some people, I think, other people pick the nickname and, hey, you're just stuck with it.
Wilson over to Donegan. I'll tell you a story about that in a few minutes. Donegan with the basketball. Head fakes, puts it on the floor, and they're going to say double dribble. Bob Golick, the brother of Mike Golick, who is on ESPN's Golick and Greeny in the morning with the ESPN radio. Bob Golick said, you can't give yourself a nickname or else it don't count. Exact quote, by the way. So I think we're permitted to give others nicknames. If they don't like it, that's bad. But Katie Cox making life difficult a little bit for Altavista on the 3. 45-23, Altavista.
Hawks coming down quickly. Cox nails the 3 ball in the corner pocket. Good shot by her.
Kayla Lee with the basketball. Lee gets inside. Off the front iron, no good. Rebound secured, but they're going to call a jump ball. And the basketball is going to stay with Altavista. Now, Ron Guidry did not like the nickname Louisiana Lightning that Phil Rizzuto gave him because he said it was too much to sign on an autograph.
Well, did he like the name Gator then?
Probably.
Okay.
Hughes bounces it in to Chelsea Robinson.
45-23. That's the thing. Some people are so good they have multiple nicknames. Bob Alvis is probably one of those. Just haven't discovered what the first one is yet.
Erica Wilson over to Kayla Lee, now to Morris. Sydney looking for somewhere to go. And the ball is knocked out of bounds, and it's going to stay to Altavista.
Yep, 45-23. Lady Colonels lead. Minute 48 remaining now. Lead to inbound.
Kayla Lee inside to Morris. Morris can't get it to go. Sanchez all over her back. Morris, the second try is going to go down.
Yes, Sanchez blocked one. She couldn't block the second one, though. Good job by Sydney Morris staying after it.
Sanchez finds an open player for the Hawks. Shot is no good as Chambers can't get it to fall. Rebound by Kayla Lee. I mean, you have nicknames, then you have the longer version, like the Chris Berman nickname.
Yeah, that's a different...
Oh, to be young again, McDowell.
Right, that's a different category in itself, I think.
Morris gets it underneath. Sydney getting fancy, no good. Basketball in the hands of Morris. Lee with the steal, but astutely, the referee points out that Sanchez had her feet over the black line. You can't do that, Kyle. That is considered out of bounds. As Altavista will check in a fresh face. It's Taylor Graves. And she'll spell Kayla Lee. Graves, Dews, Robinson, Morris, and Wilson on the floor for Altavista. Sydney catches, bounce passes it over to Chelsea Robinson, and Robinson gets to 49-23.
Great inbounds play there for the Lady Colonels. The initial lob pass, the high pass to Sydney Morris. Then she uses the bounce pass down to Robinson. And as we speak, another three-point bomb from Katie Cox. Boy, she's hit a couple of them in this third period, Bob.
All-Star Weekend's coming up soon. I don't know if Katie Cox is auditioning for the three-point contest or not, but she's had her fair share tonight. 49-26. The ball bounced a little bit low from Morris. Morris catches, and they're going to call a jump ball, and I think this one's going the other way.
Yeah, last possession arrow went to Altavista. Alternating possession rule. Going to give it back to Gretna, and Oscar asked me what I thought about the jump ball alternating possession last week. Kind of put me on the spot, and I said, well, I guess it's better than having to do a jump ball every time that happens like they did in the old days.
Ball knocked out of bounds.
Games might be a little longer back then. I know you didn't. I thought I'd rehash old material. Gretna inbounding here. 41.5 seconds left in the third.
Morris defending. Chambers gets by her, though. Chambers is going to have it bounce off the back plate and fall down. 49-28.
Nice touch by her, and the Gretna Lady Hawks doing their most scoring they've done all game here in this third quarter.
Hawks have been busy. Erica Wilson with the basketball. Wilson over to Taylor Graves. Graves to Morris. Morris underneath to Robinson. Robinson can't get it to fall. Rebound by Sanchez. Down to 15 seconds. Hawks, you got to think, would like to get a bucket going into the fourth quarter just for momentum's sake. Miller with it. Miller shoots a two. Not going to fall down. Morris with the rebound. Sydney will head south. Morris with three, with two, with one. Gets over to Graves. Graves lays it up. And it's going to be too strong and not count. And 3 quarters of play in the books here from Altavista High School. Colonels up 49-28 as we head to quarter 4 on your home for Altavista Colonels. Ladies basketball, WKD 105.5, KD Country.
Do you have extra furniture or home decor cluttering up your basement or garage? Turn it into cash. Bring it to the Shops of Altavista. The Shops of Altavista has doubled in size and has added used furniture and home decor to their fine selection of clothing, all at reasonable prices. The Shops of Altavista are open Tuesday through Friday from 9:30 till 6, and on Saturday 10 to 3, at the corner of Main and Charlotte, online at theshopsofaltavista.com.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Altavista up by Blackjack, 49-28. Bob Alvis, Kyle Hoehne here with you from lovely Altavista High School. I appreciate this place so much more when we go on the road.
I love going on the road. We always get treated comfortably and fairly, but you're right. It's nothing like the friendly confines of the old Altavista gym here.
The press box that we know and love.
Yes.
And, a lot of times, it's getting better, a lot better these days for us, but a lot of times we used to be, sometimes in bleachers and on the floor and still treated hospitably, but, I just like comfort.
Sometimes you just don't have the same amount of room that you need when you go on the road,
right.
Bob. We know you like to stretch out, stretch the legs, have a drink of water, and Sydney Morris tried to stretch the legs a little too much, took an extra step, traveling violation. Will give the ball back to the Hawks.
Kyle, there's no 21-point shot out here. If you're Gretna, what do you do to get back in this one?
Just got to chisel away at it. I think they had success getting it inside last quarter. And then, if the 3 ball is there, don't be afraid to take it, but don't fall in love with it.
Morris with the basketball. You remember what Mr. Alvis says, right? Over to Robinson. Robinson gets 2 to go in the elephant analogy.
Yeah, and the passing has been so good from Sydney Morris and Altavista that sometimes I forget all those old sayings, but you're right. You got to cut away at a lead one bite at a time. Not going to get it all back at once, and got to play some defense too if you want to get it back. You can't make your deficit even worse.
51-28. Miller comes down, lays it up too strong, rebounded by Robinson. Tell you, Morris has got to be close to, I think, flirting with a triple-double.
I think you could be
traveling on
absolutely right. She's got a bunch of rebounds. Her passing has been impressive all night, and there's even been some great passes that she's thrown where the teammate didn't finish the bucket, so she didn't get the assist that way, but she's got to have at least upwards of 6 or 7 assists, I would think.
She's got 19 points.
So we got that one checked off the list.
And, she got 3 rebounds on that one play alone.
Well, and she's had 4 or 5 blocks, too.
Oh, there you go. It doesn't have to necessarily be the assist.
Right.
3-pointer by Gretna, short. Another rebound by Morris. Over to TT. Now, I'll tell you, the quadruple double is just downright dirty. I don't think she's at that point yet, but I'm just saying, with Morris, I think it's logical. There's the assist to Robinson. Mrs. Robinson's neighborhood, 53-28. Chelsea has all 4 in this quarter.
Good job by Robinson. Again, another slick pass from Sydney Morris. She uses the size to pass over people, but she knows when to use the bounce pass, too.
Sanchez works it around now to Miller. Miller tries to go back. TT steps in front of it. Now over to Robinson. Now to Lee. That might be your assignment next time, Hoehne, to just keep track of boards and assists and
I try
blocks.
and do that a lot of times. Tonight, you just got me so rattled before the game in the Subway pregame show that I forgot about it. But
it's okay.
Believe me, research will be done on this one. Might have to check that box score tomorrow morning.
TT over to Kayla Lee. Double dribble.
53-28. Lady Colonels lead. 5:51 to play.
Kalia Donegan re-enters for Altavista. Cowens checks in for Gretna. Ebony Cowens has got a good frame to her, too. 5'11", junior center, long and lanky, kind of like Morris.
Yeah. Yeah, Cowens is 5'11". Autumn Womack is 5'10". Walthall is 6 foot. Sanchez is 5'10". So this Hawks team has got some size.
Jumper by Gretna, and the bank is open. Extended hours for Chambers. And the 2 goes down 53-30.
Good shot off the window. Dew's going to try her hand at the 3.
Spots hits the front iron, no good. Rebounded by Sanchez.
Don't know if Altavista's made a 3 in this one tonight, Bob. And that's pretty rare for the Lady Colonels.
Making me do work.
I know.
Chambers with the 2. It's 53-32.
A little bit of a defensive letdown by the Lady Colonels there. Good job by Chambers to get behind the defense, score the bucket.
Hedgepath with the basketball. Gets it over to Donegan. Trying to glance at my numbers here while I talk here, Hoehne, and I think you might be right. Dews lobs it over to Lee. Lee puts it on the floor one time, and Hedgepath comes behind her.
Give the Hawks a lot of credit. They're down in this one, but they're still playing with some passion, playing with some fire. Really good defense right here. Dews is in trouble. Coach Spencer had to call a timeout.
Timeout by Altavista. Will take one as well. It's a 30-second break. Altavista 53, Gretna 32 on KDE.
Heard of Moose? The Altavista Moose Family Center proudly supports Altavista High School athletics. Moose International is a family-centered, community-based organization that has been serving the Altavista area since 1952. The Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road in Altavista wants to wish the Colonel basketball teams good luck in the playoffs. Give the Moose Family Center a call at 369-6945 today to see how they're bringing together the Altavista community. Moose, a family fraternity.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Very good night for the Colonels so far, Kyle. And you mentioned not hitting a 3, which is unusual, but I can also take the flip side of that argument. To score 53 without a trifecta is also pretty good.
Very good point, Bob. They've scored a lot, scored often, most of them coming inside. It's been a lot of great passing, too.
Morris underneath, got caught in a bad way, tried to take the shot up, no good. Rebound by Gretna. Miller trying to get past Hedgepath. No good, rebounded by Dews. Casey Cox in there for Altavista right now. Receives a pass from TT. Cox throws it back out to Hedgepath, and Altavista might be interested in running a little clock. 4:25 to go. Comfortably in front.
I think they definitely want to spread this court out, make Gretna have to work a little harder to play defense. But again, got to give the Hawks some credit. They are playing hard.
Donegan intended for Morris. Knocked out off Gretna. And TT will inbound. 4:14 remains in quarter 4. Altavista wins. It doesn't matter who wins down in Chatham. They're coming here on Friday night. Donegan can't get it to fall. Rebound is going to be knocked out of bounds. They'll stay to Altavista. If there would be, for some reason, an upset in Ringgold tomorrow night, 6-8, I believe. Or is it 5-7? I think it's 5-7, actually, for the double dip.
Got me on
6
the
if there's
spot
only
with that
one game. Hedgepath looking to inbound it. Ryan gets it into Donegan on the bounce. Donegan can't get the shot to fall, and going to call a travel on Kalia.
Thought maybe you could have called the jump ball there because Kalia put the basketball up and it got partially blocked. Then she came back down. Hence
Or the foul.
Travel.
Many options.
There's some options on that play. It's nice to have options. Down to 4 minutes to play in this one.
Sanchez with it. Guarded by Hedgepath. Ryan giving up a couple inches there. As Sanchez goes down to Cowens, now to Miller. Chambers catches at the free throw line, gets inside. And I'll tell you, hey, give Sydney Morris the credit for that one. I mean, Chambers has to arc it so high. It just got away from her, went up top and hit the top of the backboard. But I'll tell you, when you got the big paws of Sid the Kid there, those are some long outstretched arms to shoot over.
And that's the trademark of a great defender. Even though she doesn't block the shot, she alters the shot, and it doesn't go in because of that defense.
Dews hands it over to Hedgepath. We were talking to Dean Hubbard earlier, and you're probably not going to know a lot of movement in these regional standings until after the semifinals at least. Because with the way the little breakdown goes, Morris tried to go across to Cox. Cox fouled Chambers. And it'll be the first one on Casey Cox, I believe. Third one on Altavista. And it's going to send Chambers to the stripe for 2.
Yeah, Bob, Feller's fourth quarter here. Check out the 2013 Chevrolet Equinox, style and comfort with up to 32 miles per gallon on the highway. Other crossovers wish they looked this good.
Got to be economical in these times.
You got to think about that when you're purchasing a car, and Feller's certainly thinks about that with you. Down to 3:21 remaining here in the Feller's fourth quarter.
53-33.
Yeah, you mentioned the regional standings. I mean, it is so complex and really hard to figure out as the second free throw goes in. So you're right. You kind of got to wait and see what happens in everybody's district semifinal before you can start making plans and that kind of thing.
Well, I mean, William Campbell springs the upset last night in guys. Amelia springs an even bigger one in guys in the James River. So that can affect the Division I standings on the guys' part. And you mentioned how tight the girls are. I mean, you really got to take care of business. Right. Cox cross court to Hedgepath, now back to TT. Dews with a one-handed bounce pass over to Cox. Casey puts it on the floor a couple times. Now over to Donegan. Altavista really doesn't seem interested in a shot right now, but I'm sure they would take it if they have something uncontested. Dews with it, and Dews is going to be fouled. Foul's going to go against Sanchez. It's the fourth on Gretna.
Yeah, Altavista really interested in spreading that court out. Gretna's still interested in playing some tough defense. Third foul on Sanchez. 2:46 remaining here in the fourth quarter. 53-34. Lady Colonels lead.
Hedgepath doubled, gets it off to Dews. 2:45 to go. Morris down low. Morris gets it underneath, and Sidney kisses two in off the window. 55-34. Dews strips Sanchez. Sanchez picks it back up. Bounce passes it across. Morris with the block.
Wow. The intensity, the passion, the big-time block again from Sidney Morris. And if you're standing around the court, you got to be careful, because the way Sidney Morris blocks those balls, you never know if one's going to come flying in your face.
I.e. Mrs. Grisinda. Had to get out of the way quickly there as that ball looked like it might have been headed out the door.
She almost threw it out the door into the lobby, and it would have been bouncing down Bedford Avenue if we weren't careful.
Hedgepath with the steal. Hedgepath gets the player off their feet. No good. Morris with the rebound. Morris with the stick back. Not going to fall. Ball is loose and picked up by Gretna. I'm so interested in the stats, I might go down afterwards tonight and have you report back tomorrow of Sydney's final numbers, because they're gaudy. Morris with the steal.
There's a steal there. Throw a few of those in there as well. Sidney Morris really the complete game here tonight.
I think every stat that can be possible to stuff on the stat sheet has been stuffed.
Yes.
Don't say that at home 3 times fast, children. Donegan had it knocked out of her hands, almost kept possession of it, and Morris recovers. Now over to Lee. Lee doubled, gets over to Dews. Dews just in front of half court. Now over to Hedgepath. Hedgepath 2 dribbles, back out to TT. $1:25 to go.
Colonels passing the ball around the perimeter here. And Coach Deborah Spencer is going to take a timeout. We'll take it too. 1:21 to play in this one. Altavista leading 55-34 on 105.5 KD Country.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch & Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Fresh faces on the floor for Altavista Kyle, along with some familiar ones. TT Dews, Lindsey Chapman, Brittany Mason, Kayla Lee, and Erica Wilson. The 5 on the floor for Altavista. Gretna's battle tonight just hadn't gone as well as the Hawks have wanted it to, as Mason gets rid of it.
They got in the early hole there, and then the start of the third quarter didn't go their way either. About midway through the third quarter and this fourth quarter, really haven't played that bad at all. We're under a minute to play now, though, Bob, and it looks like Altavista, we mentioned it, not really interested in scoring, just trying to run out this clock a little bit here.
Lee with it, and Gretna doesn't seem like they will foul. 37 seconds left, so Altavista will play for the district title on Friday night here at Altavista High School. Time permitting, it could be 6, it could be 5.
Yeah, either way, the Altavista Colonels will be here. Lady Colonels will be here, and they'll host the winner of Nelson and Chatham. That game going on right now. Should be a good atmosphere here Friday night.
Wilson goes down low. Chapman gets in 2. Chapman at the block gets the 2 to go in. 57-34, and that will do it, and that will be our final. Lady Colonels get the W, 57-34 over Gretna. We'll come back and talk about it on the Subway postgame show right after this on 105.5 KD Country.
It's cold out there. Who are you going to call when that old heater finally breaks down? Select Air, 841-1580. Another question. Who are you going to call this summer when that air conditioner finally kicks the bucket? Select Air, 841-1580. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Never an overtime charge with Select Air. Call Donnie at 841-1580 for a free estimate or online at selectair.webs.com.
A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Feller Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Feller Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Feller Chevrolet in Altavista. I'm hungry. What are we doing for lunch?
E&S Mart.
E&S? I knew they had the best gas prices in town, but lunch too?
You can get 2 hot dogs, chips, and a drink for just $2.99.
$2.99? Wow!
Yep, high-quality Nathan's and Jesse Jones hot dogs with over 30 items on the topping bar, so you can load it up any way you want it.
I'm Mike Maddox. I'd like to invite you down to try the best hot dog in Altavista. Come on down.
E&S Mart, Lynch Mill Road, across from the elementary school.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Altavista gets the W. Bob Alvis, Kyle Hoehne, some good old-fashioned Dogwood basketball talk there in the break, KH, with who could be where and all that good stuff on Friday, because it's up in the air right now.
There's still some possibilities, and that's why you got to tune in. We'll keep you informed, or go to kdcountry.com. But we know one thing: the Lady Colonels
page.
Absolutely, Lady Colonels will be here Friday night, hosting somebody in the Dogwood District Championship game,
either Chatham or Nelson. And the way the time could be different is if the guys are here too, but that's going to take a little bit of work on the crew of Robbie St. John tomorrow night for the boys team, as they've got to go to Dan River. Yeah, and that's going to be some work.
Yeah, two guys semifinals tomorrow night. Of course, we'll be here. Gretna comes to town to take on the Altavista Colonels. 6 o'clock tip-off for that one. Subway pregame show starts around 5:40. Don't want to miss that. And then the other semifinal, William Campbell traveling down to Ringgold to take on the #1 seed Dan River Wildcats. Fun basketball action down there.
Well, and you know, the
winners will meet up Friday.
I was going to say, the thing for William Campbell is they are really playing to advance their seeding.
Yeah.
I mean, Dan River and Altavista for the boys, you know, on their end of it, they're okay in terms of some funny things could happen in the James River and Bull Run and Shenandoah, but I'll tell you, William Campbell kind of has their fate in their own hands in terms of helping their seeding.
Yeah, they really need to win as many games as possible to move up and get a higher seed. You'd love to host a game in the first round of regionals. 1 through 4 seeds do that.
William Campbell did that last year.
Right, 1 and 2 seeds would host second round games as well, assuming you get by your first round opponent.
At a neutral site, which for the Dogwood, it is Amherst County High School, to my knowledge. And it's funny, you know, when people hear that and they're thinking Dan River's hosting a game in Amherst, that's the way it would work. So that would be funny. But Kyle, here tonight, the Lady Colonels, you know, get one step closer. And I think each game with Deborah Spencer's squad right now, you know, the record is what it is. But I think you really want to take care of your business and prove that we're still hungry.
That's absolutely right. It's a situation where you're still trying to get better. You're trying to make improvements late in the year. Maybe you insert some new plays, some new offenses, new defenses, that kind of thing. Switch it up. but you're definitely trying to keep the ball rolling and keep that snowball getting bigger and collecting more momentum as it rolls towards Richmond, which is ideally where the Lady Colonels would like to be. They got there last year. They want to get back and get a little further this year.
We'll take one final time out here on the Subway postgame show. Altavista gets the W 57-34 over Gretna on 105.5 KD Country.
English Construction Company has been in the building business since 1932, so it's only natural that they appreciate the building process. They recognize the fact that organized sports programs build character as well as bodies and minds. They know that high school sports build our youth into more well-rounded and more productive adults. The English Construction Company is proud to be a sponsor of high school sports and salute all athletes, coaches, and teachers. A word of praise and encouragement from English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg, Virginia.
Heard of Moose? The Altavista Moose Family Center proudly supports Altavista High School athletics. Moose International is a family-centered, community-based organization that has been serving the Altavista area since 1952. The Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road in Altavista wants to wish the Colonel basketball teams good luck in the playoffs. Give the Moose Family Center a call at 369-6945 today to see how they're bringing together the Altavista community. Moose, a family fraternity.
Do you have extra furniture or home decor cluttering up your basement or garage? Turn it into cash. Bring it to the Shops of Altavista. The Shops of Altavista has doubled in size and has added used furniture and home decor to their fine selection of clothing, all at reasonable prices. The Shops of Altavista are open Tuesday through Friday from 9:30 till 6 and on Saturday 10 to 3 at the corner of Main and Charlotte, online at theshopsofaltavista.com.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Big win for the Lady Colonels here tonight, 57-34, as they knock off the Lady Hawks in the Dogwood District semifinals. Bob Alvis, Kyle Hoehne here, the Subway postgame show, February. And a lot of the subs on the menu for $5. And those premium subs only $6. So, hey, good deals at Subway happening all month long and really all the time. But February is a big deal. And get out there to Subway, 2 locations, Main Street and Walmart.
Big month for Subway, big month for basketball fans because that means it's postseason tournament time. And, you know, we said it. We talked about it in the halftime show, Bob. Every big game deserves a big sub. Subway's a real crowd pleaser, that's for sure.
I've never heard anybody go to Subway and say, I didn't enjoy it, either for the meal or for the customer service.
That's right.
Final numbers. First for the Gretna Hawks, 34 points go like this. Katie Cox had 14. Shaquita Chambers had 12, all in the second half. 3 points apiece from Andrea Sanchez and Courtney Witcher, and 2 points from Monique Miller. Altavista led by Sid the Kid, 21 points for Sydney Morris, 16 from Chelsea Robinson, spaced them out equally, 4 in each frame. I like that for, the fraction portion of the evening. TT Dews had 8 all in the first half. Ryan Hedgepath scores 5. Kalia Donegan with 4. Lindsey Chapman with 2. And Kayla Lee, saddled with free throw trouble all night, manages a free throw. Altavista gets the W 57-34.
Good win tonight for the Lady Colonels. And, of course, again, tomorrow night, Subway pregame show 5:40. Gretna comes to town. Bob, you're not going to be there, but got to get your thoughts on that one very quickly.
You know, the thing that worries me if I'm a Colonels fan, would be the winning streak. I think it's up to 19 now. 18 or 19.
Against Gretna. Not this season.
Right,
yeah.
And, if you look at it, I would almost be willing to venture it's probably a longer winning streak. It's got to be up there for any other Dogwood team versus another Dogwood team. I mean, we could check on that, but I think it's got to be up there. And, it's just law of averages. And you hope the law of averages don't strike tomorrow, or if there is a regional matchup with these two, then. So with that being said, I think Altavista comes out and plays their game and they take care of it, that they're going to get it done against the Hawks.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one, and you're right. A lot of wins lately. Altavista's getting over Gretna, and I think your point is at some point the streak's got to come to an end. You just hope, if you're an Altavista fan, it's not this year. If you're a Gretna fan, you hope it's either tomorrow night or the next night sometime.
Players of the game, we'll start with Gretna. I'll go first. Katie Cox lit it up for Gretna, but Chambers with 12 in the second half, I thought really kind of kept the Hawks alive a little bit. I'm not going to fault you if you're going to go the other direction, though.
I'm going to go a completely different direction. I liked Andrea Sanchez, the great passing, hit the three, saw the floor well, and she threw some passes that were too hot to handle, too.
Altavista, you want me to go first or you want to go first? I have a feeling this is going to be unanimous.
Yes. Go ahead.
What did Sydney Morris not do tonight? I mean, she blocked a shot. She almost took out a teacher. I mean, she scored, she passed, she stole, she rebounded.
Did she sell popcorn at halftime?
You know,
might have snuck back there. We weren't looking.
No food and drink in the gym here and less water. So I'm going to give Sydney Morris my player of the game. And you could go other directions, but I got to give it to number 15 tonight.
Yeah, a great team game all the way around. You're right for Altavista, but boy, if you watch this one, I think you got to go with Sydney Morris. I mean, the blocks, the passing, the scoring, the rebounding, the steals. Everything in the kitchen sink. She threw it all out there tonight. Great dominating performance. And again, solid win all the way around for the Altavista Lady Colonels.
They move on to Friday where they will take on either the green and gold of Nelson County or the black and red of Mike Richardson's Chatham Cavaliers. So stay tuned and be ready to hear that one.
Absolutely, and the people that make it all possible are sponsors. Feller Chevrolet, where a short drive will save you money. English Construction, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. E&S Mart, 2 hot dogs, chips, and a drink for just $2.99. Select Air, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, never an overtime charge. Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Services, a family serving family since 1905. The Shops of Altavista, kids and ladies clothing, home decor too, all at a great price. And the Moose Family Center, Lynch Mill Road in Altavista. Herd of Moose. And, of course, streaming audio online at kdcountry.com is brought to you by Walmart on the Clarion Road. Save money, live better. Walmart, this is the Subway postgame show.
Check out those YouTube rebroadcasts, too.
I've been listening to some of them. I'm trying to study up and get better.
I appreciate that.
The point 1 on the study chart is don't do any more math on the radio. For me, anyway.
Yeah, I think I probably have 3 or 4 points. Not enough time to get into them all tonight. Enough time, though, to thank Eleanor Hoehne back at home base. Eleanor always bringing it to the table. And big thank you to you, Kyle, and everybody that joined us in this one. So, for Kyle Hoehne, this is Bob Alvis. Altavista, big win tonight over the Gretna Hawks, 57-34. Join us tomorrow night when Kyle and Oscar have the call when the Gretna Hawks come into Altavista one more time. It's the boys basketball semifinals right here on your home for Altavista High School Athletics, 105.5 KD Country.